What's going on, man? Let me know if you guys can hear me loud and clear. Hopefully y'all are having a good one so far. Everything is going down real good, all that good stuff. Sitting here going live to both good old YouTubes, and we're gonna have to go ahead hit up that Instagram as well, man. Just hit that good old pocket dunk type action. Let me know if you can hear me. Hopefully everybody's having a good one. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to just chilling out and all that, man. I told myself I really wanted the opportunity to kind of just freaking fill out the day, and then boom, I caught lunch. Lunch is upon us. I'm like, oh yeah, then we already know what the goddamn deal is, man. Like, if we could have that going on, then absolutely we'll have a good old time. So first off, shout out to the folks that's coming in on Instagram. I see y'all out here. Madison is out here. Flash Rodriguez out here. Naturally Fruit is out here as well. Tater Dom over there on the good old YouTube's making it happen as well. Wes up in this thing, we appreciate that. Jake's cool stuff is coming in looking real good and stuff. Ian's EDC, hello from England. What up, man? What up? I appreciate everybody coming through, making different things happen. So I just really wanted to come through, man, and just see what are you carrying in your pocket, because I'm just saying, first of all, I don't purport to be an evil genius. You know what I'm saying? If you got some type of freaking fantastic idea, I want to know about it, okay? I'm just saying, because I might have to steal that same exact item and put it in my arsenal. I have no pep in the step, no shame in the game. Might as well just keep it real, man. So first off, let me make sure I put all this stuff on. There we go. So we got all that good. We got all the good stuff going on. So the biggest thing about the thing is I like to carry the winter loadout and really just have like a full set of crap that I can carry. I'm gonna start it off though with a good old Ghost energy drink. This one here specifically, the sweetest fish. Y'all fuck with these? Y'all fuck with the Ghost? You know what I'm saying? I really fuck with the Ghost, man. The shit is the bomb. Like, for real. What flavors of Ghost right now, says Quest? Oh, we mess with the sweetest fish, man. I was gonna get a what was the other one? I think I got the I can't even remember the other flavor I got, man, but we gonna mess around with the dang on that Ghost. I guess while I got you here, we'll talk about the first set of EDC stuff, which is the pen combination. We got the Dark Matters pen from Tactile Turn. We got the Field Reporter's notebook. I'm working right now, so I'm actively taking notes. I'm always having to take notes for stuff, so I like to keep this on deck just in case I want to write some different notes, different ideas you guys might tell me while I'm live streaming or whatever. I didn't know I needed a reporter style, so I had no clue I needed a reporter's style, like a notepad, until Field Notes came out with this stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. Slide that up, man. I was like, go ahead, slide that up for your boy real quick, man. Looking real good. So I picked this thing up. It has 70 pages in it. They just came out with this in September. Reporter style notebook. This is good if you want to keep this on your desk, jot different notes. Of course, freaking Tactile Turn has me by the goddamn scrotum. Tactile Turn, whether it's the boat action or it's the actual side click pen, which is the Force Patina one I have right here, it doesn't matter. Okay, they're always fantastic. They're always great to go. Quest says I jumped the gun. It is all good, man. But yeah, so fantastic. So we got the different options for the writing materials. Of course, on my freaking grape, you may have noticed, like, my favorite, I talked about this before, but the Ray-Ban Metas, this is their case that they come in. Love these freaking nerdy looking glasses, but they're like super effective. I use these all the time for listening to crap. I literally was just listening to some freaking talk radio before I got started. And then these transition to sunglasses, which is great, which gets the job done. Make sure you hit that like button if you're over there on the good old YouTube's side. It says that cherry limeade. That's the flavor I was going to snatch up. That's the flavor I sometimes snatch up at Astas, that cherry limeade. You're right. So first off, what's in your pockets before I move on and start talking about the other items I got on me? It says, is that a boomstick that I see? Yeah, there's a boomstick, man. So I found out, how to kind of like stay in compliance in regards to boomsticks and stuff like that with the YouTubes is, just don't handle it, and then I should be fine. So if on a live stream, as long as I don't handle it, then it should be all good to go. Spectre Hunters is here as well. What up, man? Thanks for kicking the goddamn door in. We appreciate that. Jake's cool stuff. I've got the T-turn full-size boat action in Vero Synapse with the carbon fiber. That's a freaking interesting carry. I'm not gonna lie to you. Nice guy, B. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for being a goddamn member. We appreciate that, man. Oh, I gotta get this shit lit real quick. Let me get this lit. Lunchtime stick, man. A little lunchtime stick. Let me know what else has got going. I mean, you know what? I think I got my hands on the Strabango Margarita Hoop Kid, but I'm trying to remember, like, what was my thoughts on it? Still rocking the K-Bar Bel Air. Listen, that K-Bar Bel Air, along with the launch and all the other stuff that they came out with, oh my God, they're killing the game. They are killing the game, man. It says Ghost Malone on the Instagrams says, here at the ASK American Service Knife today, he had also had the Boomstick 19, the Medford Smooth Criminal. Man, that's what's up. Yeah, my Boomstick, as soon as I leave, if I go anywhere, even if I walk around my house, I usually keep it at the ready, okay? Because some people are silly, you know what I'm saying? Some just kind of keep things at the ready because you just never know how things will go as well. Champ is here as well. What up, Champ? Thanks for kicking the goddamn door in your. Says, Ian's EDC, subscribe to your email list. Really helpful content for us EDC creators. Keep up the good work. Hey, I appreciate you subscribing to that, man. And if I ever got like connections and stuff like that with some of these companies, like, why not share with other folks? We might as well make that happen as well. Bronny just joined on the good old Instagrams. What up, my guy? Hopefully you're enjoying your day, man. Take a sip. We'll talk about my knife and stuff as well. I really had the goal to get my stick lit. You know, so I got a regular job just like most of us. And I know that I wanted the ability to light this shit up during lunch. I mean, how many of us have the ability to light some shit up during your lunch, huh? I guess we'll talk about the knife. First off, if we even talk about that, I'm wearing Vertex, the Delta stretch pants that has like 14 pockets, but I still don't look like a freaking dork while wearing them, which is something I like. Like, you can't really see them a lot, but I like them big time because they let me put stuff all over the place. Speaking of stuff all over the place, we're still rocking the Hogue Decker with the modified warning. And I like this overall because, first off, it has the CPM 20 CV steel. Get that thing up in there for you. It's a made in America Hogue. This is for the tactical bros, okay? This has like a crosshatch pattern G10 scale on it. And I like carrying this thing, especially for breaking zip ties. You know, normal packages and stuff. I normally avoid packages and stuff by carrying like my tiny EDC knife here, which has a number 11 Zippo or X-Acto blade in it. This is what I like to use to open packages and not gunk up my main knife. So I usually keep that on my desk, but in my pocket. You just never know when you're gonna need your knife. I like G10 scales, especially in the winter. I feel like I have more grip. You know, I know there's a lot of freaking titanium goons out there, but for me personally, I just am a big fan of G10, especially if I have blood on my hands, if I just put down a kill, if my hands are slippery, if it's cold, whatever, it makes life a lot easier. Weston Hayes says, any recommendations for pocket knives that are legal in the UK? So I think that guys can do non-locking like slip joints. If that's the case, then I just feel comfortable. Anybody that's in the UK, I always just recommend a SAK, Victorinox, any type of Victorinox type of Swiss Army knife is what I normally would recommend, but I'm not an expert on y'all's law, so don't look for this random YouTuber to help you out with that. Hopefully that answers your question though. I like the pocket clip. I like the way this functions. It uses their Able lock, ABLE is what they call it. I don't know where they came up with the name. It's going similar to Benchmade's Axis Lock. Of course, that trademark ended, so they can use whatever name they freaking want to. Bronny on Instagram says, I've got the Deca from Blade Bench collab with original goat scales. Ugh, that shit sounds freaking fire. I feel like a peasant now. Peasant in chief, I guess, right? So that's what I keep in the pocket. I keep that in the little utility pocket that's on these trousers. The flashlight comes in handy as well. I did not think I would be such a fan of the EDC 33 by Nikkor. I love this flashlight. First off, I tend to like to carry flat flashlights. I'm not going to lie to you. But This one's kind of making me a true believer. Okay. This has technology in it. When it's on high beam, when it senses your hand is too close to the front of the light, it actually reduces the beam so you won't burn yourself. I was like, that's pretty freaking awesome. Has 5 different modes inside of it. This has a spot in the middle. It's not a floodlight, has a nice spot. This thing gets tons of range, about a 1/4 mile throw whenever you're using this. So you can like use this, basically imagine that if you took a track, like a track and field, and stretched it out, it can see down the entire thing. My favorite part though is this little lock. See that lock there? That lock prevents you from turning the flashlight on. A lot of flashlights have locks, but you got to push a bunch of buttons. Remember combinations, like click 17 times and then boom, it's locked, right? But if you just unclick this, now you can turn the light on pretty easily. Let me not freaking blind everybody. Let me turn it on low. You can turn it on and it's in the lock. As soon as you engage the lock, it turns the flashlight off. So that way this thing won't turn on in your pocket and burn a hole in your pocket or something crazy like that. I love this flashlight. I hope that Nikkor comes out with like an updated EDC 27 and give me some of the same technology. I love the EDC 27. I carry that too, but yeah, the EDC 33 is fantastic. Baby Driver says the EDC 35 is awesome as well. I just got that one. Shout out to Nikkor. They sent both of these out, full disclosure. They sent the 33 and the 35 out. The 35 is freaking goated. I like that shit. But in the pocket most of the time is the 33. So that thing just kind of gets grandpa excited. The multi-tool beast, man. Okay, listen. I have FOMO. Okay, who else has FOMO? Put goddamn FOMO in the chat if you ever have FOMO. Fear of missing out. FOMO. You ever have FOMO when it comes to EDC stuff? Whether that be a new knife, a wallet, some glasses, a watch, whatever the case may be, I have FOMO. It's for the Leatherman Arc, okay? I know that Bronny just picked up the Leatherman Signal. He wanted to get a new Leatherman. When I heard you picked up the Signal, I said, well, maybe I should pick up the Arc. You know, I do, you know, so I do every now and again do reviews on a goddamn YouTube channel. But, you know, I kind of squashed that a little bit by doing some modifications to my free P4. First off, I put a full-size bit driver inside of this thing, which now allows for me to use regular size bits, which I love that. And it locks. It locks just like the free P4 is supposed to. And now I can take this out, use regular bits that we all have laying around versus Leatherman's proprietary bits. I usually just keep this in here loaded with a T6 or a T8 because, or a T10. Those are, T10s are common for like the pivots or the main screw on a pocket knife to tighten that up. Like a lot of times the bigger screw right here is a T10, and then these are normally like T6s. So I normally would keep a T10 loaded on this just in case I need to tighten that. But I also can throw whatever else I want to in here. And because of the way it functions, I can leave it loaded into the free P4. Listen, I bought this on eBay. And if anybody's if somebody has a free P2 or free P4 and they want to try to do the same type of shit, you know what I'm saying, let me know. I'll get you that link. I had to sacrifice a Leatherman curl recently because I wanted the file out of the Leatherman curl. Same thing here. Did the modification, took it out the Leatherman curl. This one was a little bit more work. I had to grind it and spot weld to the back of it to make it work in this thing, but I never used a serrated blade. So for me personally, I didn't see a need for it. So, you know, we got rid of it. But that's kind of the replacements that I did for the free P4. All the other tools on the other side is still the same. You have this, this is a slotted screwdriver as well as a box opener, box cutter. See that? It's like a jagged edge right here. That's designed to actually open boxes. And a Phillips. And a Phillips I used this morning at freaking 5:50 in the morning. I used a Phillips. My goddamn doorbell came ajar from my front door. I have one of those Google video doorbells or whatever, and I had to tighten up its mounting brackets, and I just happened to already have this thing in my pocket. Bottle cap lifter right underneath that. I don't use that very often. I guess if I'm throwing back some suds, then yeah, we can make that happen. Here's the thing. This thing does not have, you know, I think it has what, 154 cm blade on this. I so rarely use the knife, and it's normally something sacrificial like cutting tape and stuff like that. So as much as I would love the Arc, I know I won't use the small the small micro driver on there, you know, unless I'm going to be adjusting some glasses or something like that. I prefer the scissors are exactly the same on the Arc as they are here, just like all the free series. Same thing on the Garage as well. So I was able to avoid that feeling of needing a Leatherman Arc by just modifying my Leatherman Free P4. Now, if you don't own a Free P4, this is going to cost you $149. You can get them used on eBay. Sometimes you can even find them used on Amazon. Check the links in the description because you might be able to find it used or whatever. But here's the thing. $149. I think the Arc is what, $249. That's $100 difference. This modification I did right here, this thing cost me like, I think it was full $30 on eBay. Plus I had to wait 2 weeks because I think it came from somewhere in Europe. So, you know, that's puts me at like 180, but I've owned this Free P4 for 2 years. If I didn't own anything, I would probably lean closer to seeing if I can get a Free P4 used or just buying the Leatherman Arc. But that's just my opinion. If you genuinely don't carry, you know what I'm saying? If you don't carry a knife on you, I think the Arc could be worth it. If you're not a knife guy, you just want one tool in your pocket, the Arc could be worth it because the blade steel, all that type of stuff, right? However, if you carry a knife on you like I have, what is the point of both having the Leatherman Arc and also having a capable blade in your pocket? I think the redundancy may not make a lot of sense. But one thing also I would say that makes sense for me is the freaking Axwell wallet. Listen, when this thing first came out, I shit all over it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just saying, okay, I freaking shit all over it for a second. And the thing is, I have come around to the Axwell wallets. I have it in this icy ass orange color as well. The orange color kind of gets grandpa excited. But what gets me more excited is the copper color. Look at this freaking patina action I got going on over here. This is what you call October 2022 to February 2024 of patina. Now, this is not everyday carry because, of course, this is a fucking YouTube channel. So every now and again, I have something else different in my pocket. But I love the fact that you can take these plates off, change them out as quickly as you want to. So if I want to just take the orange one here, I could take this off and I could have a new wallet face if just that quickly. Or I can go back to the original look, which is the copper. Has pretty strong magnets. It has a built-in money strap, but you can also get the money clip. If you want to. I just use the strap back here. That works fine for me. The back is replaceable as well. So if I want to take that off, I've never had an issue with losing my money, obviously, but you can take that off. It holds a pretty healthy amount of cards. I think so this is a tracker in the very back. So besides the tracker, I think I only carry like 5 cards. So that's a tracker by Esker. So, but the rest of it is just like my common cards. Now, one thing I want to know, guys, is have you guys heard of Reform? Hold on, let me relight my shit, man. Have y'all heard of Reform wallet? I think I've seen a couple of folks, man, carrying. I thought I saw Everyday Minimalist and maybe Ron Kwok and a few other folks carrying the Reform wallet. They reached out to me. They sent me their wallets, but I don't know how I feel about them yet. I think that they're kind of nice-ish. But it's kind of like, I don't know if I am down with leather wallets and I'm down with wallets that are made out of like some type of rare earth metal or like, you know, aluminium or copper or brass. I don't know if I like the Reform. I'll show it to you in a second. I really want to take a goddamn smoke break. You know what I'm saying? It be like that sometimes. It says, let's see, he says, do I like Ridge wallets? I like Ridge wallets. I don't like how Ridge treats the people that promote their shit. I've watched plenty of videos on YouTube where Ridge had different people that they did sponsorships with, and the biggest thing is that they weren't paying people on time. I'm not a fan of that, man. Any company, whether it be Ghost or Ridge or just keyboard company, whatever, if you're gonna ask me to do a sponsorship, let's try to get our ducks in a row. I don't know. Says, do I have the Victorinox Compact? I have a lot of SAKs. I don't have the Compact, but I'm really bad about remembering the names of SAKs. I know I have the Huntsman, I have the Rambler, I have the fingernail clippers, but other Victorinox names, man, sometimes I just don't be remembering that shit. It be like that sometimes. Victor Hugo, what up, man? Thanks for stopping by. Also, you doing this on a phone. I'm streaming vertically. So this stream is showing up in YouTube Shorts. So it's people here that may have never seen me before. Shout out to those that are just kicking the goddamn door in for the first time. Feel free to click on the channel, check out all the man cave, EDC, and just basically survival prep type of goodness I like to do on my channel. We like to make stuff like that happen all of the time. Man, Castle Knight has a freaking dope ass carry over here on YouTube. He says the Lever Edge XT craft knife, the Work Pro razor knife, small Victorinox knife, a titanium, or I'm assuming TI breaker pry bar, iPhone 11, old school iPhone. Look at you, got all this new shit and you got the old iPhone. Olight iMini 2 and a flashlight on the neck chain. Listen, I would say that's a lot of shit, but I think it's just because it's all put together. It seems like a lot, but it's not really. You know what I'm saying? So, not really though. So, I guess it just really depends. The if you're wondering about the boomstick, I can't handle it on a live stream on YouTube. I can tell you about it though. It is a Smith & Wesson, a J frame 38, a Saturday Night Special 38. I don't carry extra rounds. I don't like hammers on my EDCs. I normally don't even like safeties on my CCWs. You know, being in Afghanistan, having to put rounds down range, I want least amount of things in my way if ever I have to use a round down range. And I don't want to be, you're nervous, you might be sweating, you may forget that stuff, and muscle memory is important. So I prefer to just have very low friction in between that type of stuff. Brock says, first time here, question about these card wallets. Have you ever heard of or carried the code 118? Yeah, I've heard of them. They've actually reached out to me before. Thanks for kicking the goddamn door in, Brock. If I'm mispronouncing that, my bad, guys. Just, you know, pound sand. I'm not talking to you, but that's the thing I like to say around here. I've heard of them. And like I say, it's just hard for me to get down with wallets that are not leather or something similar to that. So here's the Reform wallet. They did send me a couple of them out. I think I'm going to probably give them away on a member stream, because as nifty as these things are, I mean, first off, they're just so minimal. Okay, I get it. That's nice. Okay, I love the magnet. Okay, the little freaking magnet action is, oh, look at that snap. You see that snap, man? That freaking, oh my god, I love the snap action. Okay, has a little coin purse, you know what I'm saying? So you got a little coin purse, you know what I'm saying? So women, ladies aren't the only ones that deserve a coin purse. We got our coin purse action. So if we want to throw some cards in here, we can. It seems like it has a little area in here for your cards, and you have to fold up your cash, but it feels like it's made out of recycled material, which is nothing wrong with that. But I don't know, man. It just, something about it doesn't get grandpa excited. Okay. It just doesn't get grandpa excited. They also sent out the one that doesn't have the little coin purse inside. And shout out to Reform for even sending it out, man. I told them, you know, they didn't ask me to give them a video. They didn't even ask me to feature them in anything, but it's a nice little wallet that seems to be the biggest takeaway from it seems to be the magnet. Look how strong that is. I mean, I'm holding it open like this. I let it go and it flops closed. And it does have, you know, nice little areas for your cards or whatever. Will I give it a whirl? I don't know. More than likely, knowing myself, I'm not going to shit on the product. It just doesn't get grandpa excited. You ever had something you like, you got it and you're like, you know, maybe it's not for me. That might be where I am when it comes to the Reform wallets. But you know what is for me? My freaking key setup right now. Okay. I go all over the place when it comes to my keys and stuff like that. But now we're rocking the key bar made in America. This one is the cross pattern, Cerakote titanium and copper setup that they had. This was a limited edition that they had for quite a while. Excuse me. This is no longer available, but I linked up some of their other ones that they may have. Titanium pocket clip, just copper inlays, and this is a freaking fantastic setup. You know why I like the key bar system? And just like Jibbin or Orbit Key or whatever, I like a key system that shields the keys in my pocket from scraping up the inside of my pocket. Okay, I'm a big fan of stuff like that. Number one. Number two, they have this thing called a magnet, and this thing is a magnet. This connects to my key fob where my actual truck keys are, which are over there on my freaking man cave desk. But this allows for me to separate this, and if I don't need these keys, I can just leave these at home. This has like my front door and a key to my gun safe and a key to like the tonneau cover of my truck and stuff like that. But I may not need this every day, so I can leave this home or whatever. And I like that simpleness that they offer with that type of setup. Of course, I normally do enjoy a stick at least 3 times a week or so. So normally in my pocket is some type of Zippo lighter. Specifically, this one here is the brass Zippo. And I just normally have it in here with a butane insert, not a Zippo insert. For you freaking cigar heads out there, I don't want you thinking that this is a Zippo insert and I'm ruining my freaking sticks. Even if you thought that, you could bounce in because I don't really care. But this is the normally in my pocket. These Vertex trousers are so fantastic because there's a hidden zipper pocket. I can leave these in here at all times and it just gets out of my way. It just gets out of my way. There's also like hidden pockets in the very back of the thing, which allows for me to carry my phone. My main phone's a Google Pixel 7. Shout out to the Android folks in the chat. You know what I'm saying? It be like that sometimes. I know y'all love it. Google Pixel 7 for the main phone. And of course, my work phone is an iPhone. Freaking disgusting. But my work phone is an iPhone 13 with a cracked back, right? And it's a work phone. So it's like, if my job's going to replace the back, then so be it. But I love the green color on it. I love all that good stuff. But my job, you know, they'll take care of that. They'll take care of that when they see fit. So I know you guys got some good carries going on as well. The Reform wallet, way too expensive for my taste. $100. I don't see $100 worth of wallet. You know what it is, Cali Hiker? It's the magnet. It's the materials. But, you know, I kind of might be leaning there with you. Another company similar to Reform is called Wayfarer, I think it's called. They send me out their wallets. They're like $60. They feel really similar to the Reform. They just didn't have magnets. They just didn't have magnets. John, what up? Thanks for kicking the goddamn door in. Let me see. Brock says, you got it right. I carry a handmade wallet from a gentleman in the best damn EDC Discord by the name of Stone Alexander. He does great work. You know, I had a handmade wallet made by Three Sons Leather out of Cleveland, Ohio. He does a fantastic job. He has 3 sons, hence the name of his company. My favorite wallet, leather wallet though, it has to be hands down. Has to be. Chef Rocky says, I have 3 of those Zippos. Man, I got like 5 of them, bro. I'm right there with you. And he said that on Instagram. But has to be the wallets that are coming from Wingback out there in the UK. Now, I know we're proud patriots and we like made in America. This is America. We like freedom and fractions around here. But every now and again, you know, the folks in UK are real good at making suits and making small goods like pouches and bags and wallets. They're real good at that shit. Right? I'm not, you know, you notice there's not a ton of UK knives in the EDC. You know, Fox knives is coming out of Italy, but there is not a lot of knives coming out of the Great Britain. Sebastian says, what is your favorite knife? I don't know if I had a favorite, Sebastian. I don't know about a favorite. I guess if you said X, you could have one knife the rest of your God-given days. You have to choose or else. I would probably have to go with the Montana Knife Company Blackfoot. It's a fixed blade, full tang, but if it's only going to be one knife, I want less points of failure. Okay, less points of failure. So I don't need a pivot to worry about. I don't have to worry about dirt getting into the opening mechanism. There's no lock. It's Magna Cut. It's relatively easy to sharpen. It's, you know, master blade shift. Josh Smith came up. He designed the actual blade itself. It says, Chef Rocky says my favorite is a bug out. Sir, ain't no goddamn way. David, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for being a goddamn member. We appreciate that, man. David is here as well. Work from home day. Got the Olight baton for the ProTech Runt. Did you get the ProTech? You said you got that as a, you won that as a prize? I think, I can't remember if you told me that, David, or if it was somebody else. I can't remember if you told me that or if it was somebody else. Yeah, but if that was a thing, I would probably have to go with that. I appreciate that. The mod on my multi-tool it was an interesting thing. If you're going to do that mod, though, you need some type of tool holder. So I have a vise, you know, behind me is a big ass, can't really see it, but behind me, behind that Space Force flag is a big ass workbench. And I love the Space Force. They came about after I got out the Marines. I was like, God damn, the Space Force. I said, Trump, you know what I'm saying? You signed the Space Force into them. You know, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. Uh, but it is what it is. Yeah, man. So just kind of chilling out during the lunch. It says no. I bought. Okay, that's what I thought. Let's see. Listen, Jaime Zime. Listen, if I mispronounce that, my bad. It says what the fuck. Hey man, I'm just chilling out, man. Just having a good one. Zychronium O pen, Zychronium Olight i3T, the EOS, a Leatherman Free P4 in a Damascus Ridge wallet. Listen, I was just talking about my Leatherman hoop kit. Just talking about my Leatherman Free P4. And the thing about my Free P4, I was just mentioning, just in case you missed it earlier, is I did the mod where you can add a 1/4 size bit driver in there. And you might think about doing this because, you know, the Free P4 doesn't have a bit driver. You can buy this on Amazon. You install it. It locks. It locks just like with the tools that are in there. And it includes a smaller bit driver that you find on some of those like precision kits. But now you don't have to use Leatherman's goofy ass bits. As much as I like Leatherman's bit solutions, they're flat, they're soft. So if you try to use Leatherman's bits on too tough of a job, you're gonna break them. They're very soft metal. I don't know what they make them out of, but I like that mod, man. And if you have a hoop kit, if you have like a Leatherman curl laying around and you have like a cutoff, you have to do a little bit of work, but you can also do something like take the Fantastic Diamond file out of the Leatherman curl, or you can sacrifice a wave. I'm not going to sacrifice a Leatherman wave. I love those. But I had a curl laying around and I had to do some work. I had to grind the back of it so it would lock, and I had to spot weld a piece on there. But now I had the Fantastic file on my Free P4 as well. This has been probably my most exciting mod that I've done in quite a while when it comes to my everyday carry. So that just makes life really, really cool. What's going on over here on the Instagram side? Of course, we're streaming on both Instagram and we're on YouTube. We got God, Guns, and Coffee over here kind of making the thing happily. Hopefully y'all having a good day, a lunch or breakfast, dinner. I don't know where the hell y'all are at. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it's a good one for you though. Let's see. Trevante says he has the Trust Black multi-tool, the Gerber armbar for backup. Listen, the armbar, I'm okay with that. The lockdown drive is shitty, but the armbar, I'm okay with that. The 511 Tactical Rapid L2 flashlight with the Tactical LV6 sling for the off body. The thing about I used to carry Leatherman's bags and slings and stuff like that. And for me personally, at least when I had the AMP 10, I had the 511 AMP 10. I carried it for like a year. I don't like too high of Corduro, however you pronounce that shit. And some of the bags are just too rough on your clothes. I get why they want them to be rough. They want them, you throw them on the ground, throw them in the mud, toss them to the side or whatever. But if you have 1,000D rubbing on your clothes, you're over time, you're gonna tear your shit up. And I like to ruck my items quite often. And so I found myself damaging my goods, you know, so it'd be like that sometimes. Any suggestions on a traditional style? I also like the case copper lock, interested in the Jack Wolf. Anyone else have used one? Jack Wolf was on a live stream. I forget who EDC channel he was on the other day. Those knives look interesting, but they're so expensive. I mean, the walk and talk on some of those slip joints that Jack Wolf were putting out are freaking found fantastic. But, you know, I don't know, man. It's some pricey boys. I'm not going to lie to you. Nessie says, do you use the Gassy X? What is, maybe I need some clarification. I might not know what it is. Put your comment back in chat. Maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. My bad if I don't. Bronny on Instagram says, drinking coffee and editing a video on the Woobin E7. Woobin sent me they sent me the X2, which I forced patinaed. And they also sent me, I think it's the F5. I think it's the flashlight that's a square. I didn't know I needed that. No, they didn't send that to me. I got that for Christmas. I didn't know I needed that. I had no clue. Stones EDC on Instagram. What up, man? Thanks for kicking the goddamn door in. Chevy Guy on Instagram says a bite-size slide lock 360 for the keys, a SAK Fieldmaster, and a Kodiak Cub flashlight. Show off the force patina. Yeah, let me grab it for you real quick, man. Let me grab that for you. I oftentimes hate having too much gear all over my goddamn desk. This is where I, do real work as well as edit YouTube videos and shit like that. But sometimes, so this is what I call like my completely useless premium EDC bag. One of these bags I suggest that you don't put together. This is the type of bag I grab if I'm going to be going to a buddy's house. If we're going to be going to a party, I grab this shit. It has items in here to show off that are completely pointless. It has items in here that don't make any difference, that you don't actually need. Warren says, I'm lost. Hey, we're just out here hanging out, man. We're just out here hanging out. Hey, what up, man? Thanks for kicking the goddamn door in as well. Yeah, so here, but in here is where I like to keep some items in here that are just kind of over the top. Some over the top items. And one of the items is the Woobin X2. And the Woobin X2 has been force patinaed. So when I got this thing, it was a beautiful, brand new looking copper. And I did a little bit of liver sulfur that you can buy on Amazon, some water, and put some gloves on. Make sure you do it in a well ventilated area. Dip this thing into the liver of sulfur in warm water for about 15 to 20 seconds. And then dip it into a bath of baking soda and water. And you might want to knock it down a little bit with like maybe 600 grit sandpaper at the very end. But yeah, those two things freaking made my life, just made me feel so good inside. Now, this is a force patina for a flashlight I've had for a month. This is natural patina for a wallet I've had for, let's call it a year and a couple of months. Look how quickly the force patina has caught up to the natural patina of this wallet. Like, so yeah, I normally, if you want to get an item and just do a force patina action, you won't believe like the process and just how good it will look overall. If you do this with a flashlight though, make sure the flashlight is at least IPS 68 rated, because you're going to be dipping this into water, obviously, right? But this is just an first off, the flashlight, shout out to Woobin for sending this out. I don't recommend buying it because the flashlight is not the greatest. It's $150. It's pricey. It's a floodlight, right? And so it's not a spotlight, and it doesn't even have like the best throw in the world. This is a talking piece, okay? And it has a shitty pocket clip. Okay, Woobin, I've talked to y'all about that before. The pocket clip is completely shitty. It's too hard to use. But, that whole, just the action itself is some fantastic stuff that is going on. What is it, says Black Crow? That is a flashlight, my guy. KW, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for being a goddamn member. We appreciate that, man. Definitely looking light. Yeah. That's some good patina, says Minky. Yeah, that's some good patina action, man. Stones EDC on Instagram says amazing patina as well. I totally concur. Ooh, I wish I could understand this, man. Thanks for kicking the door in from another part of the world, but I unfortunately don't know. I think that's Arabic, maybe. I don't know. But thank you for kicking the door in. I wish I could translate it here, but I can't. Chris, thanks for stopping by, my guy. We appreciate that, man. Chevy Guy on Instagram says I meant Night Eye Slide Lock 360X. Sorry. Oh, okay, I got you. Oh, it says bite size. Hey, that's going to be spell check for you, man. That's all that is. That's all that is. Hey, listen, so I told you about the stuff that's on my body. Now I'm going to be doing a full EDC video. Shout out to Jeremy Sires, because I loved his freaking EDC video. It was some great choices in there. He has just a great head on his shoulders. David coming in from SoCal. Shout out to you, my guy. Thanks for kicking the goddamn door in, man. But he's inspired me. It's kind of been a trifecta of things for me specifically. It's been a trifecta of things for me specifically when it comes to my EDC. So, I showed you guys my bougie ass pouch. The pouch I just showed you guys, that is available. Everything that's in this thing is available to watch on my channel. So if you want to know about all the freaking flashlights and charging cables and my freaking flask full of Woodford Reserve Double Oak and all that type of stuff, click on my channel. You can go watch this video and check out all the fantastic items I keep in here for the bougie EDC, which does not get carried very often. Okay, doesn't get carried very often. Just keep it real about that. But here's a pouch. If I forget this pouch, if I'm going somewhere and I know I'm going to be gone for more than like an hour, I look for this pouch. This is the pouch that accompanies my everyday carry. And in this way, if I know for a fact that I'm going to be going somewhere, or if I know for a fact that I absolutely may not have enough time to load out my pockets, I just grab this pouch and I just roll out the door. So if I'm going to be in joggers, if I'm going to be in shorts, if I don't have a lot of time to prepare or anything like that, boom, I grab this pouch, I'm out the door, and all of that good stuff. I just did a video about this pouch as well. And this is an everyday carry item. Normally I throw in a bag or a sling bag or something like that. This is the Pico Pouch Pro by Roaring Fire. And it's a great pouch that only costs $21. I think it's made out of nylon, but it's really good. It's pretty stuffed like a burrito. But inside of here are items that are redundancies, but they have a little bit different capabilities than the items in my pocket. Okay, so Victorinox nail clippers, right? Some chapstick. We have a small copper pin by Big Idea Designs. Battery bank, right? Just in case my phone were to die. We have another multi-tool, but this one's the Leatherman Juice. Has a fantastic diamond file and all that good stuff. And let me see, anything. Oh wait, it says anything to say on the Woburn X3 with the charging box. Yeah, I did a video on that, Ashton. Thanks for kicking the door in. If you go on my channel, or if there's a mod here, if you can drop that in chat, I did a video on the Woburn X3 versus the Olight Baton 4. I like the Woburn X3's charging case. It's pretty cool, and you can go check that video out if you want to know more about it. And so, but yeah, so this is some different items that I keep here. But you know what? If I forget if I don't have time to load my pockets out or anything like that, boom, I grab this and I'm ready to go. On the other side is a flashlight. This flashlight has different capabilities than the flashlight that's in my pocket. Okay. This is the Olight Seeker 4 Mini, or Mini 4, whatever they call it. This has a UV light. It doesn't have as far a throw as the flashlight in my pocket, but it has a UV light that lets me do stuff like, if I want to, say for instance, I have these Ray-Bans here. These are transitions lenses. If I shine my UV light on them with this Olight here, and it lets you do stuff like, obviously they start to transition to sunglasses. So, you know, and I also can check and see if there's any weird stuff going on with any of my kids. You know, I got 2 boys, and just in case one of them freaking didn't quite make it to the potty and stuff like that. So I keep a flashlight in here that has a different capability than my normal light. We also have the Victorinox. This is basically a deconstructed Swiss Army knife. I don't know how long this is going to stay in the pouch. Okay. It just seems to be so much redundancy. I don't like it. Right. Like, I have a multi-tool in my pocket. There's a Swiss Army knife, nail clippers in here. And then I got this gifted to me for Christmas. So I don't want the people that gave it to me to think I'm just being shitty. It does have a few things different that I can't do. It has a ruler, centimeters and inches on both sides. Has some scissors in there. You know what's beneficial about this? It's a deconstructed multi-tool. So if I need to do something like take the file and I need to sharpen an item on my multi-tool, I can do that. But let's keep it real. How often are you doing some shit like that? How often are you like, oh no, my knife is dull. Oh no, my scissors could use a little touch up. You know, maybe. We'll see. We shall see. I just don't like carrying too much shit that I don't use very often. But this thing overall, I got it for Christmas. I know Zach in the Wild loves this thing, so I'm gonna keep giving it a go to see overall if I'm gonna kick it to the curb, or if it's something that I can continue to rock with. Next to that is this little charging cable here. Now the charging cable goes with that battery bank that we talked about earlier, and I can take this charging cable. It has a magnet in it, and it can charge both my work phone, which is an iPhone, or it can charge my normal phone, which is the Google Pixel 7. So it has all that functionality built in all at once. So huge benefits of that. But this pouch, now this is just my EDC pouch. It doesn't need to always be on me. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't need to always be on me, but it just also can replace everything in my pockets if I don't have time to load my pockets out. Now that rarely happens because all my loadout is normally in my closet, and I get dressed in my closet in my master bedroom, so it makes life a little easier. But that's that loadout, man. So just a nice little carry coming on over there, man. Stone's EDC on Instagram says, cheers from Spain. Hey, man, thanks for kicking it in from across the water. We appreciate that. Bentley just kicked it in on YouTube. He says, little late, but what is the modded Leatherman there? The modified Leatherman is just basically, I took the Leatherman Free P4 and I took out the small file. It didn't have a diamond file. It really wasn't that useful. I took out the wire stripper and I took out, I forgot what the awl wasn't that great. And I replaced it with a 1/4 inch bit driver, which locks. I bought it on eBay. You have to do the mod yourself, but this is a lot more useful for me than the tools that were included in the Leatherman. I also took a Leatherman curl. I took the diamond file out of a Leatherman curl. I had to just grind it a little bit. I had to do a little spot welding. It doesn't fit perfectly. It doesn't lock without doing all that. If you put it in here without, it won't lock. But if you do that, then it's worth it. It's totally worth it because now I have that fantastic file that Leatherman has, and I have it in the Free P4. I rarely use a serrated blade. I don't work with rope very often. That's what serrated blades are really good at. And so if I ever do run into that situation where I can use to cut some rope, I'll just put a sharp edge on it with a knife that's in my pocket. So that makes life easy. What's your take on tool cards? You talking about like the tool card that I just pulled out, Piranha? Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for being a goddamn member. We appreciate that, man. Yeah, the tool cards. If you're talking about what I just pulled out, I'm still on the fence about it. You know what I'm saying? I would get the Swiss card Lite just for extra backup. Yeah, I know there's two different versions of the Swiss card, and I like redundancy, but right now I have triple redundancy. A multi-tool in my pocket, a multi-tool in the pouch, and then a deconstructed SAK. That's a lot. Plus the fingernail clippers in there have a knife and another pair of scissors in it. So it's like, I don't know if I have a need for all that. Let me relight my shit up real quick. Now, to light my stuff up, this is kind of my desk lighter. I talked about the lighter in my pocket, but I like the Tisfa lighter. Has a built-in cutter in it. It's a little bit too big to keep in the pocket though. And but I normally will rock this. It also lets you know on the side how much butane you have left. So I usually would use this for when I'm at my desk working to light a cigar. Oh, last thing I got to talk about is my watch. We'll talk about the watch. And for just for your edification, I'm smoking Drew Estate Factory Smokes a Robusto. I don't like tons of flavor. Robusto has the least amount of flavor out of all the factory smokes. You want something that's sweeter, then don't get the Robusto. Okay, don't get the Robusto. But you know, custom made multi tools corner the market, says John. Yeah, a lot of, I know the goat is coming through. What is the name of that company that starts with an R? I think, is it Ronox or whatever they call themselves? I know a lot of companies are starting to offer custom made multi tools and that type of flexibility and stuff like that. Let's see, Koi Dog, appreciate you kicking the goddamn door in there, Devil. Appreciate that as well. It says great smokes from Anthony. Yeah, man, I like big smoke. I like a lot of smoke and a good draw on my sticks overall. But we'll talk about the watch here in a second. I just freaking let this thing go out. Shout out to people on Instagram as well. I see y'all popping in and out. Xavier just joined the chat. Drew P EDC just kicked the chat in as well. Everybody kind of making the things happen. Let me see if I missed a question over here on the, here it is right here. Dr. Breezy says, yeah, so I know that them and Goat are coming through with the modular multi-tools and making stuff happen. Yep, exactly. Oh yeah, you can travel with it by taking the blade out. You know what? That's a good point. That's a good point with that Swiss tool. Is that technically if I take the blade out, I can take a multi-tool with me. But I also own a Leatherman style PS. Now the Leatherman style PS doesn't have a knife in it. It just has scissors, tweezers, a file, and a carabiner, and a bottle opener. That's it. So, you know. Oh, Iranian is Arabic. I don't know if everyone in Iran speaks Arabic. There's multiple languages. I learned all that when I went to Kuwait and Afghanistan. Everybody doesn't speak Arabic. Hello from Singapore, says Dennis. What up, man? Thanks for kicking the door in. It's probably Iranian. Oh, okay. See, I didn't even know that. I didn't even realize that. It says, Bentley says, trying to finish my first bug out bag setup. What would you recommend I make my EDC pouch first and then a bug out bag, or just fill the bag? That's a good question. So Bentley says, trying to get my first bug out bag setup. Would you recommend I make an EDC pouch first and then the bug out bag, or just fill the bag first? So bugging out is going to be highly unlikely, Bentley. It's like super highly unlikely. So in my opinion, you should focus on your EDC bag. Bugging out is only going to happen in very few cases. I'm prepared for it, but it's a very few cases. Anthony 504 Instagram Semper Fi, my guy. First off, no, I don't speak Farsi. First off, civil unrest, EMP or some shit like that hits your city. Highly unlikely. It probably will never happen, but I think about it. I have an EMP shit on my truck. I have stuff stored in old microwaves in my garage. A little bit of crazy prepper in me, just a little bit, okay? But the biggest reason to bug out, I don't know where you live, Bentley, but the biggest reason to bug out will be weather. If you live on barrier islands like Key West or the Outer Banks or Mackinac Island or islands off the coast of New York or something like that, where weather's coming in and you need to bug off to the mainland, that's a reason to bug out. And if for some reason vehicles are not usable, you need to bug out on foot. Civil unrest is something that could happen, right? But I wouldn't focus on a bug out. I'll be more focused on my EDC bag versus putting together, an EDC bag. Yo, do cigars smell like cigarettes? No, they don't. If they did, I would never smoke them. And if they did, Mrs. X would never come out to the man cave. She can tolerate the smell of sticks, but we cannot tolerate the smell of cigars. Matter of fact, or of cigarettes. I keep cigarettes here for guests that come to the man cave. But when they smoke cigarettes, I make them go outside of my man cave. Right now, my man cave is completely closed. I have a exhaust fan pulling the smoke out. I have a filter, and it works just fine. But if someone wants to smoke, some bud, or if they want to smoke cigarettes, I make them go outside because it's just the smell is too powerful. He says, with the nut that's running Russia, don't doubt that we will set off an EMP in the future, maybe using North Korea. Yeah, I think about EMPs and that type of stuff. It's so highly unlikely to happen. When I mention I have an EMP shit on my truck, people look at me like I'm crazy. And I don't even know if it's going to work, right? Because EMP shit in theory should take the shock of an EMP, protect my alternator or my battery, and I should be able to crank and keep going. But I won't know if the shit works until we have or a lightning strike. That would be another reason to have a EMP shit on your vehicle. Cigarettes smell cheap. Yeah. So let's see. Eddie says, I'm Eddie from Chicago land. I love your channel. What sling is your most used in your EDC? Oh, hands down. My most used sling is the Nut Sack Morale sling bag. Okay. It just came out in the fall. Now, Nutsack sent me some new shit out as well. They just came out with the Commander, which is their EDC pouch. I got some comments about that. They just came out with their Speed Sling, and then they came out with the Nutsack Sling Pro, I think is what it's called. It's basically a bigger size of the Nutsack Sling. It can fit a 14-inch laptop in it. And I like all of them. But first off, the relationship I have with companies is that I don't guarantee content. So they sent stuff out to me, but I guarantee I guarantee content if you pay me. Let me rephrase. If you pay me, I guarantee content. Nutsack doesn't pay me. And so a lot of times it's just, I might do a video after I review something, but a lot of companies send me stuff and there will never be a video. So they send me a lot of their new gear and it's so closely related to their current gear. I don't know if I'll do a video, but we'll see. We shall see. What do you think about 511's tactical LV sling or LV6 or LV10, says Trevante on Instagram. I would say that the LV6 and the LV10 are both okay. I just don't like the look of the 511 slings. Like, they're just too tactical looking for me. Vertex just sent out the new sock piece sling, the CCW. Well, it's not even a sling, it's a fanny pack. That thing is fantastic. But it's almost a little too tactical looking for me. See, Dr. Breezy says, X, do you see OpenSea Leather making some nice quality leather bags? I could see it happening. I know Jeremy Cyrus has some OpenSea Leather stuff, but I think they're like, when a company's laser focused on one set of stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's just hard to imagine that they easily branch out to something else. Alex says, what do you have for comms? That's a good question. It's so matter of fact that a company just sent me out their new, where is it? They sent me out this radio to test, and I honestly can't remember the name of it. Not Midland. So Midland radio is what I use for emergency radios, but I also have, it's called the Beartooth. You guys ever heard of the Beartooth radios? I don't know if I can share my screen or if it's going to look weird. The Beartooth radios, you might have to look it up. But it's basically this radio set that is, first off, it's incredibly expensive. It's $2,500. They sent the shit out to me, and I'm going to do a video on it, and it seems very capable. But for me personally, I don't know how practical it's going to be for people to pick this thing up. It's easy to deploy. It's very compact. It's made in America, has a 2-day battery life, and it has 20 miles of signal. So, you know, I think that it has like a push to talk features on there, and it works like if someone's over mountains and hills, but it supports over 100 different devices. You don't need like a straight line of sight. It has a network monitoring tool. It has markers on. It has a lot of different shit, but it's fucking $2,500. $2,500. But look it up, Beartooth. Beartooth.com is. They sent it out to me to check it out. Ronald Young Jr., thanks for stopping by. Thanks for being a goddamn member. Traveling to the DR in March, what are some good recommendations for TSA friendly carry for the pouch or your sling? So Ronald Young Jr., I've done 2 videos on TSA approved loadouts. You could check them out on my channel, but just a summation of that, the Leatherman style PS has gotten through TSA for me personally. Okay. The Leatherman style PS is one of them. I don't have it with me here, but another one for you, Ronald, if you want something, I think it was Dr. Breezer or Zyzo just mentioned, you can also take the Victorinox Swiss card. If you take the knife out, so there's a knife right here. If you take the knife out, leave it at home. Now you can take this through TSA because it's just a file, some scissors, some tweezers, a toothpick, and you can take that through TSA. So that would be my recommendation. But whatever you take through TSA, don't take something that's near and dear to your heart, because there could just be one Poindexter TSA agent doesn't know what he's doing, and then they confiscate your stuff, or they try to make you check it or whatever. Last thing to talk about is my watch. We're rocking the VAR A12 Dirty Dozen. Let me take it off. Listen, I don't like, first off, before I take it off, I don't like big watches. This is a 36 millimeter watch. I like watches no bigger than 40 millimeters. Right? No bigger than 40 millimeters. I don't have the biggest wrist in the world. So that's a 36 millimeter watch. This is the VAR A12. It has a Swiss movement inside. It has an automatic movement, self-winding. A fantastic watch overall. It has a sapphire dome front. It also has a see-through back, so you can see that beautiful movement, which I love a lot. So I can see the movement inside, which is one of my favorite parts of this watch. Is I take it off all the time and just watch the movement, and I think it's pretty freaking awesome. Doc Rock, thanks for kicking the goddamn door in, my guy. But yeah, so I think for me personally, the A12 Dirty Dozen, this is going back, paying homage to those that these were issued initially in World War I. Now, initially in World War I, literally officers were taking pocket watches and strapping them to their wrist. And these were Army soldiers strapping to their wrist with leather so that they can coordinate different attacks. This is when they were first starting to use mortar strikes. And they need to be able to coordinate when mortars were going to be coming down range. So they literally taking pocket watches and strapping them to their wrist. Well, you had companies like Hamilton. You had companies like Ben Roos. You had those companies that were the first companies, and there were 12 different companies. That's why it's called the A12, that met specifications that the Army laid out that allow for their watches to be considered field watches. One of them was Hamilton. So there's a lot of other companies that pay homage to those. That's why this is called the A12. And once we got to the Vietnam War, these were refined and they got a little bit better. That's why I have a Ben Roos watch, which reminds me of that. But I'm a big fan of those type of watches. So anything that pays homage to that. Now, I like Hamilton's khaki field watch and all that type of stuff. But the issue I have with those is Hamilton started in 1897. They were made in America. They have since moved their entire brand over to Switzerland. Everything's made in Switzerland. So I like to support micro brands. Now, this VAR watch is made in Switzerland, but most VAR watches are assembled in the United States. So, that's normally why I kind of like to rock out with them as well. Christopher, thanks for stopping by. Hi, I'm new. This is interesting. Well, thanks for kicking the door in. Big watches that get caught on jacket sleeves are no joke. Yeah, I don't like big watches. I'm not a big fan of it. Hamilton was also for soldiers. Yeah, 100%. And that Fury, man, I just watched that movie 3 days ago for the third time. Fantastic. Doc Rock over there on Instagram says, damn, got a meeting with the boss. Just wanted to say hello. Well, thanks for kicking the door in. We appreciate that. Let's see. Anthony 504 says, what's the best EDC for a beginner? So it's hard to just generally, and this is on Instagram, it's hard to generally answer that, but I have videos on my channel. I have I have a complete made in America EDC under $100. That was hard. That was a hard video to do, to get a bunch of items under $100. Go watch that video. And I have another video that has a complete EDC kit for under $250. So that's what I would recommend. But Anthony, the easiest way to answer your question is do not spend more than 2 hours of your pay on one specific item. So if you make $25 an hour, don't spend more than $50 on your first EDC knife. That's just my opinion. Because if you hate it, the best you can think of is like, you know what? I hate this watch. I hate this knife. I hate this whatever. But I wasted 2 hours of my life. It was 2 hours of my pay, right? That's one thing to think about. Now, if you don't know what your pay is, if you're salaried, like I'm a salaried employee, just take your pay and divide it by 2,000. It's about 2,000 workable hours in 1 year, about 2010. That's about how much money you make per hour. So if you make $65 an hour, you rolling in the dough. Don't spend more than $125 on your first knife. That's just my recommendation. I like to recommend stuff like the Squid by CRKT, the Tuna by CRKT, anything by Kershaw, like the Leak. You might like those, stuff like that. And you say you're retired. Okay, so take your retirement and divide it by 2,000. And don't spend more than 2 hours of your retirement on a knife. It says Black Sparrow EDC says, and you can sell it and get an hour back. Exactly. There you go. You can sell it and get an hour back. But that's how I like to think of it, right? So, for me, so if I'm going to be spending money on a new item, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to spend more than 2 hours of my pay on this. If I effing hate it, then it was 2 hours of my pay. So I don't want to say, yeah, don't spend more than $50 because you could be rolling in the dough. You might make $200,000 a year. I don't know. Right. So it's something to think about. The Microtech. I need to think about it. Robert, I've been looking at the Microtech, interested in it. I don't know. That's some big bucks though. We were just talking about how to spend that stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? Chris says, do you know a good place for Leatherman replacement parts? Need obscure parts for my free P4. Well, first off, Chris, I got a bunch of parts for my free P4 I just took apart. So send me an email. Maybe I have parts you need. I don't know. I just modified my free P4 and I took parts out. So maybe you maybe I can send some of that stuff out to you. So email me. That's number one. And number two, I would just buy stuff on eBay. But whatever you buy on eBay, make sure they take returns. So a lot of sellers on eBay don't take returns. So make sure you have one. Make sure you get one of those ones that take dang on returns. JL says, I don't know why I like you. I don't know why Mrs. X likes me either, though. She lets me go 20 toes pretty often. So, you know what I'm saying? I must be doing something right. Let's see. Shit, you're right. Not budget friendly. Yeah, 100%. The Microtech. But maybe they are. Maybe they are for some folks. Me personally. You know what I'm saying? Don't let the number of subscribers I got fool you. I'm not just freaking rolling in dough. Like, YouTube is a side hustle for me. It's a hobby for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the clock now. I'm a little bit over my lunch. You know what I'm saying? I hate myself. Don't tell my boss, okay? If you're watching, boss, my bad. Let's see. Ashton says, is this man math? I literally, so the reason I came up with the math for it was, we have like an EDC chat group, and someone suggested 4 hours of your pay, and I was like, man, that's kind of stiff. If you make $25 an hour, you're saying I should spend 200. I mean, you know, I should spend $100 on a knife that I may not like. That didn't feel right to me. That didn't feel right to me. I'm gonna let you guys go on Instagram, man. I appreciate y'all kicking the door in. It did not feel right to me. So I thought to myself, well, maybe like what kind of knife can I, you know what I'm saying? What kind of knife can I get for 2 hours of the pay? That started making a lot more sense. Let's see. It says, hello, says Lokester. Hey, Lokester 420. Thanks for kicking the goddamn door in. We appreciate that, man. Let's see. Bentley says, you got any cheap throwaway brands you recommend just for tools to stick in my car? Oh yeah, I've done an entire video on my channel about my EDC tool loadout that's in my truck. So if you go to my, if you just put Marine X EDC truck tools or some shit like that in the search, the tools I keep in my truck, that video will pop up, and you can just go through that video. I have things from places like Tecton. They're not very budget, but they got some pretty good stuff. Work Pro, you can get like a whole Work Pro set or stuff like that. But go check that video out if you want to make that happen. Noah says, shut up. Okay, my guy, I hate myself. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for kicking the goddamn door. And he tells me to shut the hell up. Well, I'll stop soon, Noah. For now, just pound sand and suck the left scrotum if you can, if you get a little moment. You know what I'm saying? I would appreciate that. But yeah, man, listen, I appreciate y'all coming through, making different things happen for your guy. I got to get back to work. I got to make some stuff happen. If this is your first time stopping by, hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you a part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.